What's going on, everybody? Welcome to part 9 of our Chatbot with Python and TensorFlow tutorial series. In this tutorial, what we're going to be talking about is how you can interact with your chatbot. So there's quite a few ways for us to interact and a few different reasons why we might be interacting with our chatbot. So let's go ahead and kind of cover all of those ways. So first of all, the first way you're going to interact with your chatbot, or that you're going to kind of see how your chatbot is doing, is obviously, I guess, in stats and TensorBoard or something like that. But generally, I mean, our goal here is to create a chatbot, so we actually care most about the output of our chatbot. So the first way you're seeing output for your chatbot is in the console as it's training every 1,000 steps. It's going to show you like source, reference, and then NMT. So source is where it's, the actual input text. Reference is the training, or the testing output. And then the NMT is your chatbot's actual response. So that's one way, but that's only one at a time. You really kind of want to see a lot of output to really gauge how your chatbot's actually doing. Like, one output's just not enough. So that's kind of like the first way you're going to interact with your chatbot, in my opinion, or at least see how your chatbot is doing. So I'm going to open up the NMT model directory and head into the model directory. So inside here is where everything goes. This is where all your checkpoint files go and all that. So just in case I forget to mention it later, like let's say you want to go into production and you want to move this chatbot somewhere else. All you need to run this model live is the NMT code, right? You need to have, you'd probably want to bring hparams if you don't have the same exact settings file, but you could go either way actually. But anyway, you're going to want checkpoint, probably hparams, and then the 3 files that correspond to which checkpoint file you want. So in this case, this would be step 1000's checkpoint. So you'd want all 3. And then you'd also need to modify the checkpoint file to contain the number, right? So if we actually wanted 1000, we would need to change this to 1000. Okay? And you might as well change all of these, or you could just remove them. Basically, normally this would be like 496, 495, 494, and so on all the way down. But I just threw in 496 because I was actually kind of happy with model 496, so I just copy and pasted it into all them. Anyway, the first form of output is going to come in these output dev. So output dev is the result of your chatbot every 5,000 steps is going to take your test2013.from file. That's located in your data directory. So here, okay, yeah, right there. So then, oops, I tried to hit the back button on my mouse and I'm in paper space right now, so it just actually did my browser, not here. Anyways, as I was saying. So yeah, so your first form of output is going to be that output dev and test, but output dev we'll look at real quick. But anyways, so like this is output from our actual model, so we can see some examples really quickly of how our model's doing right now. So that's pretty cool, and you can either manually compare, the input and output, or I just wrote a simple kind of pairing script real quick, so I'm just going to drag this over. And this is it. So the output file, output dev, the testing script, blah, blah, blah. So give the full paths to wherever these are located. Then you can run this, and then it's going to output line by line, and it's all just going to look like this. So you can more clearly see, hey, here's the input, here's the output. There's really nothing interesting here, so I just don't see a point for me to like write this out on tutorial or video for you guys. You can go to the text-based version of this tutorial. It's all there. So yeah. So now we're going to talk about the inference script. So I'm going to close this out. So that's one way, you can sort of kind of interact with it, or at least see how your chatbot's doing in mass. But then there's going to be a time where, like, say you like the way that's looking, you might want to start interacting with your chatbot. And chances are you're going to come up with some questions that you tend to ask, or you tend to see, oh, these are problematic questions. So you want to ask them from time to time to see how the chatbot's doing. If it's the same questions you're going to ask to every chatbot, though, what you should do is just add them to your test file. You'll have needed to have done that before you did prepare data and all that, but just keep that in mind. Like if you're going to keep doing the same stuff, you could just throw it into the test, and then that way output dev every 5,000 steps is going to do that for you. But chances are you're going to come up with new stuff, or you're going to see new ways that your chatbot is kind of weak, and each one's going to be a little different. Some chatbots like to all over the place. Some chatbots like to not finish their thoughts. Some of my chatbots have liked to give way too many links to things that don't really need links, stuff like that. Each one has been a little different. So yeah. Anyway, the next way is with inference. So inference.py, and things are highly likely to change. So I'm just going to throw that caveat out there. Right this moment, if I go to the GitHub, this is what it looks like. And in here, you have, this is kind of the way things are right now. And then there's Syntax Lab. And in there, I've got a few things that have changed, including a modded inference, a modded bulk inference, and then some scoring information. Now, I'm going to go over all these in a moment. But I just want to say that as time goes on, chances are the scoring and the modifications to inference and picking the right one, and again, I'll explain that a little bit in a moment, that's probably going to be implemented in a much better way by Daniel later. Whoops. Yeah, this guy. Anyway, I meant to just go to here. In the main project directory. So chances are, if enough time has gone on, there's probably a better way than using my code. So I'm just gonna say that for now. Anyway, the default one is just inference.py. That's the one that doesn't do any scoring or anything. So first, let's go ahead and run that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up a terminal, change directory into desktop, nmt chatbot, and let's see if I can't make this bigger. Cool. So I'll run python train.py, and this is going to open up based on the checkpoint director or the checkpoint file. So again, if you wanted to test a different checkpoint, you could go into model. You could just edit this checkpoint file to contain any checkpoint you want, and that will be the model it loads. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you want to check a different one. And I highly suggest you do, because even though, let's say 496 and 490, let's say 496,000 compared to 495,000 might be a surprisingly different chatbot, right? It might be significantly different. It might be a lot better. And then suddenly at 497,000, it's bad again. You're not happy with it. So I strongly suggest you check different ones. Also, it's not always going to be the case that the one that was trained on more data is necessarily better. So for example, I'm comparing this chatbot. This is one that I created with 70 million pairs. Compared to the other one currently running on Twitter right now, is trained on only about 3 million pairs. And I honestly think the one that's on Twitter right now is better than this one. So that just goes to show you that, you know, it's not necessarily that the one that's been trained more is gonna be better. So anyway, and there's a lot of other considerations to go into that, but just keep that in mind. You'll want to test a few of them. So yeah. Anyway, coming down here, what have I done? Did I run train.py? I must have ran train.py. Let me break this. I'm so used to doing Python train.py. I'm positive that's what I did. Let's scroll up and see. That was dumb. I sure did. What an idiot. Anyway, let's see if it's not going to break until this operation's done, so I'm just going to start over. Open in terminal, make it bigger, change directory, into desktop, nmt, python inference.py. Anyway, cool. So now it's going to start the inference, and then it starts this interactive mode. First response will take a while because it's going to load everything. But hey there, comma, how ya doing? Okay, so this one, like I said, this one's going to take a little longer, and like the program says, the other ones will usually come a little quicker. Okay, so here you can see all of the outputs. There's quite a few here. What's going on? Well, we're using beam search. So that was one of the parameters in the hyperparams, and this is one of the benefits of doing it, is that you can get multiple outputs. Now the default is 10. If you want to change that, you can just, in the model directory, come to hparams, and what you're going to look for is both beam width, I think is what it was. Yeah, beam width, which is probably set to 10 right now. I set it to 30 for the production model, and then it's like num translations per input. Yeah. There it is, 30. Again, I'm pretty sure the default would be 10, but you can make that 30. So anyways, you can change those two things, and then you'll get up to 30. So now you can see though, hey there, how you doing? You can see the first response was, hey. Okay, which is a little worse than, hey, or how you doing, right? Or how's it going? How's your day? But really probably the best one is to say like, I'm good, or I'm good, thanks, right? Yeah, and you can see a few, or, I'm good, thanks for asking, that kind of stuff. And obviously a lot of these hey. I like how this one just has a random hey, and then back to the regular heys. Anyway, so this is a slightly modified inference over the default one that came with NMT. So the default one would just return like the number one. And your chatbot normally in training, or if you were to push it, it would be the first return, whatever it happens to be. Now this one has a few different scoring mechanisms built in. One is for uncs. There is no unc here, so you don't get to see it. But anything that has an unknown token, that's really not user friendly. So we'd almost never want to return that. Really, honestly, I think you'd never want to return something that has an unknown token in it. That just looks really weird. But anyway, you can see there's a lot of them to choose from, and the first one isn't actually the best one. We could argue about which of these other ones is the best, but it's probably going to be, one of these. I'm good, thanks. Hey, how's your day? I suppose could be an okay one or whatever, or just I'm good. So, enter in my added layer on top of that has been the modded, I guess I don't really want to close this. The modded inference. Now, I just wanted to show this because what I did was, and I did this to go into actual production. So mine's not going to return all of these. It's only going to return one response. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to bring up here. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to read these responses from NMT. It's going to use some really rudimentary natural language processing. Basically, it's going to look for instances where we don't end on a punctuation, a proper punctuation. Like if we end on a quote, that's bad. If we don't have a period, we're gonna say something with a period is far superior. Also, he had a propensity to not finish the links, and the links are formatted like Reddit links. So a lot of times he just wouldn't finish and give that closing parentheses. So I used a simple regular expression to look for brackets followed by a opening parentheses, but never a closed one. That's always going to be a problem. So anyway, so I'm looking for stuff like that, and I guess I could pull up the scoring mechanism actually. So in Syntax's lab, if you do want to use this stuff, basically you'll take all this stuff, you'll take comparisons, modded, these two modded files and scoring, and you drag them into the root directory if you want to use them. Again though, as time goes on, I'm very confident that Daniel is probably going to write something better than what I've written, but we'll see. Anyway, so you can look at the scoring though. It's just a bunch of functions that kind of score. So bad responses. So Charles V2 liked to link very frequently to this list of burn centers in the United States, and it just got really annoying. So we stopped letting that happen. And then also some of the responses would contain the beginning of a link but didn't finish. So I'm calling that a bad response. Anyway, continuing on. Messed up link, this is what I was talking about. It doesn't close a link. This is just a quick function to remove punctuation for later evaluation stuff. Ends in equals. Yeah, basically a lot of links were ending in equals, so it'd be like youtube.com and then the v equals, and then it would just stop. Well, don't really want that. So if the thing ended in an equals, we'd lower the score. Unc checker, if there's any unknown token, remove 4 from the score. If the answer, so a lot of times he would just repeat the question, which you even saw in that output already. If he does that, remove from the score. Ends in punctuation, good, we add to score. If he's just echoing, if he's very similar to the input question, we want to penalize, more stuff on answer echo, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, eventually we get to the point where we return a score, and then we're going to score basically all the outputs and then go with the best score. If there are a bunch of them that have, like, say the best score is 6. Okay, let's say. So let's say there's 5 answers that have a score of 6. We just randomly pick one. Okay. So that is scoring, and then now we'll do my modded inference. So for example, let me just do Python modded inference. And hey there, comma, how ya doing? I think it was that. Hopefully he doesn't respond, hey. We'll see. How's it going? So unfortunately he responded with a relatively similar question, but obviously, how's it going? I mean, a lot of people, when you say what's up, they say what's up back, or hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Like, they pretty much just respond. They never actually say how they're doing, so that might not be totally invalid. How many cats do you own? All of them. Wow, that's a lot of cats. That's a lot of cats too. Let's see if he responds to this. Oops, I can't do that. Okay, hold on. Oh, it's going to be empty. We're going to hit an error. No! If you don't have any input, it's going to get pretty angry. Anyway, wow, that's a lot of cats. Let's just try it again, see if it gives the exact same input. Wait for it. That's a lot of cat. Are you better than version 2 on Twitter? He's not. I'm not sure if I'm better than 2 on Twitter. Anyway, yeah. So that is my modded kind of where it picks one decent answer. But I'm sure if we were to kind of compare these, like for example, like I could break out of here, and then let's ask him how many cats does he own. So let's just go back to inference.py, and let's say, you know, how many cats do you own? Wait, rude. Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot of answers to this, right? He just repeats the question as the first one. All of them. How many do you own? I don't own a cat, so I don't know. Another question of how many he owns, or how many the questioner owns. And then here's one where he doesn't finish his thought. I don't think I've ever owned a cat, but, right? And then weird binary-like answers. And so on. So anyway, as you can see, I'm sure even if Daniel doesn't come up with better scoring mechanisms, I'm sure other people will come up with better scoring. Also, you know, each of the scores is fairly arbitrary as far as the number I'm subtracting or adding if things are good. This was really kind of catered to make Charles v2 good. I imagine that if I go through with a v3 model, I think that probably I'll have to tweak it again to get the results I'm after. Anyway, I think that's all for now. There's just really a lot of trial and error and research and development that's going on at this stage for me. Like I said, I trained a model with 70 million pairs. I did a full epoch on that data, and I just really wasn't all that impressed. I even went back a little further to see if I could get things to be a little better the second time around. And I just wasn't impressed. So, and that was with a 1024x6 bidirectional model with about 70,000 vocab, if I recall right. Just didn't like it. So now what I'm doing is going back to the 512x2 bidirectional, which is what Charles v2 on Twitter is right now, which obviously is going to change in time. But now I'm doing a 512x2 with 500,000 vocab on a 24 gigabytes of VRAM machine. I shrank the batch size to 32, which right now we don't have the option in the settings. At least I don't think so. In fact, I really should just add it right now, because it should be there. Because that's one way you can keep a larger model but not, you know, run out of VRAM. Let's see, batch. Okay, so that is there. It's just commented out. So someone else must have added. I guess that's the last. Okay, so he added that in, or someone did it. Anyways, so the default is 128, but a good idea would be if you're running out of memory. I'm doing 32, and I'm just barely fitting it into that 24 gigs of VRAM. So anyway, I'll see how good that model is. I have high hopes, but who knows. But yeah, a lot of this is just going to be trial and error. And yeah, a lot of people were suggesting, hey, you should do like a rule-based bot, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, to an extent we are. I mean, I am applying rules to the output, and pretty much immediately everyone is, I'm not going with the first choice. And then we're doing, having various rules being applied to it. You could come up with other things, like for example, if you're hitting unknown tokens, well, that would be a really good time to use a Markov chain, right? So you could figure out, okay, what's the best word to throw in here? You could throw in a Markov chain or something like that to find, just to fill any kind of spots. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that we can do and a lot of changes that we can make going forward. But this is probably be the last chatbot tutorial besides, you know, just some filler updates as time goes on as far as what I'm figuring out. But for example, the last model took about a week, actually a little more than a week. I think it was about 8 days to do even one epoch. So it's just these things are going to take a long time. And now the 500K model at a 32 batch size is stepping about just as fast. And so that's going to probably take a month to do an entire epoch. So I doubt I'm going to do an entire epoch with that model, but yeah, these things are just it's going to take a long time. So anyways, I think that's all for now. If you have questions, comments, concerns, you're finding you've done something or you made some cool change that you want to share, leave it below. You can also come join us on the GitHub. Make a pull request or even fork it if you want. Like I said, some people thought they had some good ideas, and my answer is always going to be the same: fork it or make a pull request, and yeah, so contribute. Anyways, that's all for now. Questions, comments, leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you in another video.